Alright, we are back and the hunt continues. The sky is clear and bright, but the atmosphere is a bit darker, much like these stones that remind them of the one they're after. Liko busts out Lucia's belt and oh, it is go time. That's like flipping the cap back. In the water, we see that Kleavor's senses are, well, sharp. After avoiding them this whole time, suddenly it makes its presence known. My initial reaction was, well, that's kinda lame. I mean, they've been tracking it for weeks and he just goes, here I am, though it still feels intense staring them down so nonchalantly and instantly connecting with Liko. Lapras appears and it looks like someone's got a grudge. He is a little scary. Lapras not actually belonging to Liko makes it kind of a wild card too. Contrast to the all hands on deck effort that was Rayquaza, the crew just kinda lets things unfold here. And unlike the death match that I expected, this was just a greeting. It's basically like they dapped each other up. That's just how these bros do it. Liko approaches and states her case to Axwell. It seems to mull things over, but takes off on them. I was pleasantly surprised by this. The search mission continues and suspense keeps building. They use the slashed rocks kinda like breadcrumbs to locate it. Suddenly Guardy takes off, Perrin follows, and Freed's like, I'm going with the lady, you guys be safe, okay? So on their way out, they come across this scenic bamboo forest where Kleavor's gotten to work. Unlike all of Lucia's other mons, Kleavor is really not overly aggressive. He's just open to a challenge. Got me curious here what Lucius is like. I've always imagined him with a softer spirit to juxtapose the beast on his team. Now, this fight is sick, and that's partially due to the great camera work. They'll strike him from the front, an aerial assault, at a 73-degree angle, you name it. Despite the field usage, they still can't get the jump on it, and before they can even regroup, Kleavor traps them inside like, did I say we were done? Roy notices the bamboo popping as a reaction to Krako's heat, and gets a clever idea to throw off Kleavor's senses with it. A forest fire is just a minor side effect. Basagiri then leads them out of its barrier and towards the others. He keeps them on their toes and has the element of surprise. Having realized they're outclassed, the trio decides to terrestrialize. In order to get a better sense for their individual strengths, next up I'd like to see them go one by one. Evidently now's not that time, but I'll say they're still performing well here even without Freed and Nemethio backing them up. Just not well enough to defeat it. Although, if Freed had hopped into the ring at this point, they certainly would have. Kleavor starts to take off and leads them to a stellar view. As they're taking it all in, they get an abrupt vision of Lucius. It turns out way back when, Lucius protected Kleavor from, well, something not good. This flashback also serves to show off some Legends Arceus characters. Nice callback to a time where Kleavor was rightfully worshipped. Once freed from its shackles but still in defense mode, it went to strike him and Lapras used its body as a shield. And this scar stuck. That rarely happens. Has there ever been a wound that Nurse Joy couldn't heal? So there was never a deep feud between them, just one's instinct to protect its trainer. Lapras and Kleavor seem to have both grown emotionally and in stature since that first encounter. We also get to hear Lucius' voice loud and clear and it's refined. He speaks confidently like one who is prepared to adventure. While they try to decipher what that vision meant and where it would lead them next, Kleavor's made up its mind. I'm also wondering how this flashback came to be. It seemed like a reaction from contact between Terapagos and Kleavor. With that, we just got the fourth hero, and all that's left is Entei and Goth Rayquaza. The group makes their way back into town and Perrin's brimming having accomplished this goal. She's now aware there's more out there than she could have imagined and has to go take it all in. Once the others are back on the ship and getting settled in, Liko gets a pleasant drop-in. Okay, wow. Without trying to sound too edgy, did anyone else feel like this episode was kind of gritty? First, the feud between Lapras and Kleavor. Without Lucius even being present, and before we even have officially met him, we've gotten all this background on him and his team. It seems like he does have a gentle spirit, in contrast to his Pokemon. Similar to Liko, he also seems to have that observant ability to read between the claw marks. This makes him able to connect with even the hard-to-reach ones. He's a tough one to power scale because we see his team is ridiculous, but we haven't seen how he uses them yet. Definitely his battles with them though must have been fierce, because fierce is the best word I have for this match. I mean, the impact frames really show off the painful strikes. And again, we're given new music that really carries the desperation. Yes, it's great that the kids have ripped the training wheels off, but I do need to see more from the secondary mons. That's really my only gripe. So with a genuinely fantastic combination of storytelling and action, this one gets a very high B.